Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Well, spring is upon us here in New England, and we are loving it. In fact, we've had a really mild winter around here, and not very long ago, I think just at the end of February, I was out walking barefoot at the cemetery, and I'll show you that clip right now. Okay, it's February 23rd, 2017, and I'm walking barefoot in the cemetery. There's snow around, but it's 65 degrees. I've got a t-shirt on, and yeah, I'm getting the feet out there walking barefoot. This is a dream come true in New England. This is crazy. I'm happy. If you've been inside for the winter, most of the winter, it's time to get the physical body out there more. And that, I believe, is good for the soul. Remember back a couple shows, we talked about the koshas. That word kosha means sheath in Sanskrit. These sheaths are like the layers of the person, according to yogic thinking, and can be thought of as like those little Russian stacking dolls. Now, we did talk about the first sheath, the Pranamaya Kosha, on a recent show. The Pranamaya Kosha is the physical part of the body, the outer layer. It is where we begin the yogic journey. But there are 5 sheaths, so we will now talk about the second one. Now, that Pranamaya Kosha connects with the Pranamaya Kosha, which is the energetic body. It is in this second sheath that we begin to cultivate and use the breath, and also to begin experiencing our emotions. The goal is to quiet the mind and to find that divine within. So we need to learn to breathe, and we must also learn to manage the 6 emotional disturbances. And these are lust, greed, anger, hatred, pride, and obsession. These disturbances are obstacles in our path, and so we attempt to clear the way. They are called negative emotions by those in the field of psychology in our part of the world, and in Christianity, they are known as the deadly sins. And hey, these are obstacles to our spiritual progress. We all want more energy, and if you think about it, there are many different kinds of energy: electrical, nuclear, muscular, sexual, cosmic, and mental. Also light, heat, magnetism, and gravity. We can't see these, but yet we know they are there. In yoga, all of these are considered prana, or life energy. There are many ways of viewing the idea of prana. The ancient Egyptians called it ka, the Japanese called it kai, and the Chinese qi. And some suggest that the Christian idea of the Holy Spirit is also prana. As the teens would say, whatever. Prana is the energy that is in the universe, in all places and all levels. So, this Pranamaya Kosha is a place of energy, and it is the place where acupuncture and some homeopathic treatments take place. Yoga, again, we always emphasize this, makes us aware of a second body, a field of energy that holds our material body together and oversees all of the biological systems, of which the breath and circulation, etc., are part of. And throughout history, until the rise of the use of pharmaceuticals on a huge scale, doctors were attuned to this underlying energy. But with the advent of new medications, the shift moves from these energy fields to the physical body. Anyway, This energy field is known as the Pranamaya Kosha, and we know that if it ceases to function, we no longer exist on the physical plane. In the Upanishads, sacred texts explain the philosophy of yoga. They equate the breath with the soul. Now, I use that word not in a religious context, because yoga is not a religion, as I have emphasized many times, but more a way of improving your life, accepting your life. But not a religious context, but in a spiritual one. So yoga means union. So it does bind together the body, mind, and spirit. The breath is truly important and probably not given as much emphasis as it should be. The breath is also always present, yet it is also very mysterious. The suffix ayama means to expand, to extend, to lengthen, and to control the breath. Pranayama seeks to expand our life energy, but we must first practice the asanas, the postures, to bring us to a place where the body can withstand the breath work. Now, I can tell you that if you sit in a simple seated position for 10 minutes, just sitting cross-legged straight up, you're gonna feel it in your back and such. You'll probably be a little bit amazed. So it really, as I've mentioned before, the asanas were born of the breath work. They were born to support, to make the body strong enough to sit for extended periods of time doing meditation and breath work. Most people don't know that. Patanjali, the one who wrote down the Yoga Sutras in a methodical fashion, tells us that the base must be steady and strong in order to withstand the dualities, the ups and downs of life. We always seek that equanimity in yoga, kind of rolling with the flow. The thing that makes prana very special is that it brings with it an awareness. It is, after all, the vehicle for our consciousness. In order to bring energy to all the cells of our body, we must encourage this through the use of our breath. In our yoga classes, we focus on diaphragmic breathing, alternate nostril breathing, and other means of increasing the flow of prana in the body. These tone the lungs and strengthen the diaphragm. And well, we just feel right when we're breathing right. It's life-changing. So having strengthened our physical bodies via the asanas, we can now add another piece by cultivating the breath and therefore bringing more energy and bringing it deeper within. Okay, I'll get a little deeper here. According to yogic philosophy, we are always trying to cultivate an awareness, as I've said many times on the show, and that energy or prana and consciousness, chitta, are said to evolve from cosmic intelligence, or Mahat. Now, Mahat is the universal intelligence of nature. Leaves have it, rocks have it, and it's in every body and every cell. Prana is the connection to this unlimited intelligence. But if we're not using it, it's tough to get there. It's like we have all this energy and intelligence, but we need to access it. We want to bring that energy of the universe into our small, relatively speaking, selves. In the book Light on Life by B.K.S. Iyengar, who is the person who brought yoga to the Western world, talks about his struggle to breathe properly. He was very sickly during his childhood, a result of tuberculosis. And this made his lungs taut and not working to capacity. He talks about doing back bends and even more importantly, forward bends until he could sit and do the breath work. He credits the qualities of courage and determination. Yeah, those warrior stuff in getting him to a good place after many failures. He also, interestingly, talks about when the old-time yogis were reluctant to share the information and techniques of pranayama. So Iyengar is happy to share this stuff to help others get to where they need or want to be quickly. The thing is, consciousness, chitta, and vital energy, prana, are always linked. Wherever you direct your breath, consciousness will follow. To simplify that a little more, consciousness is propelled by two forces, which are energy and desire, vasana. The consciousness will go with whichever force is more powerful. If we can control the breath, we can control the desires because the mind is pacified. And if desire gets the better of it, the breath will become uneven and ragged, etc. So just what do we do? Just observe. Remember the niyama of svadhyaya. And you can't get to the divine without practicing this self-examination. There are different breathing techniques that we use in yoga, such as Ujjayi and Nadi Shodhana, pranayama, which I will show you during the show. So now we will move to the mats. We begin here today in this position of Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle. If you don't have a bolster, you can just begin on a small pillow, just lying on your back with the legs straight. When we begin here today, we draw our attention to the breath, remembering that the breath is the vehicle for the consciousness. We follow the breath as it enters and exits the body. We allow our concerns to just move away for a little while. We honor the breath. We allow ourselves this time in this little sanctuary we create. For a moment, just allow yourself to experience the lightness of your body. Notice your breath. And then for a moment, just be aware of the weight of the body as you rest on the mat. And then we'll begin now to deepen the breath. As we just attempt to do the diaphragmic breathing, we inhale into the belly, filling it, moving up into the ribs as we expand them laterally, and all the way up to the top of the chest. We pause and then release the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Again, 3-part breath, filling the abdomen, expanding the ribs, all the way to the top, all the way in a fluid breath. And then releasing the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And then we'll just draw the arms up in the air, allow the shoulders to settle down, and just make a loose fist, and then spread the fingers wide. And again, making that loose fist and spreading the fingers wide. And then just draw your thumb inside the loose fist and just make some rotations with the hands. So we just warm up the wrists, and the other way. And then draw the palms together and interlace all the way down to the webbing of the fingers and turn the palms upwards. And then inhale to the chest. Exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale up. And then just extend the arms long behind you. Bring them up and bring one to each elbow. Just allow the arms to rest either behind or, if your shoulders are problematic, on the forehead. Just letting the shoulders open, the chest opens. As we inhale, we create some space in the chest. As we exhale, we just let go. Bring the hands back up in the air. And then bring the hands down and just let your blocks go if you're in this position. Otherwise, you're on the floor right now. And we extend the arms long as we push the heels away. And we take a few breaths here, so we want to stop breathing, but we're not going to. We're going to keep breathing. And then on your next exhalation, bring the arms down in time with the breath. So we learn to use the breath as that vehicle that we talked about. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time. Gently just rock your hips back and forth, just a little bit, as we just warm up the lower back. And then coming back up to center. And just come up, move your bolster and pillow off to the side, and come down to that flat back position again. And once again, we'll extend the arms and legs as we lengthen the body. Now we want to feel a nice extension through the sides of the ribs. And we want the toes upwards, but not rigid. So we work at sort of keeping them aware, but somewhat relaxed. And then exhale the arms down by the sides. Bring your feet up to the floor one at a time and draw the knees into the chest and gently rock them in and out. And then bring your hands to the top so that the knees fingers are pointed towards the feet. And bring them a little wider than hip distance apart. And inhale forward, let your arms lengthen. Exhale, pull them back. Not too far now, you don't want to make any jerky motions in the back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Breath work, inhale forward. Exhale back. Let the legs come forward. Move them to hip distance. Inhale here. Exhale, draw them in. Inhale forward. Make sure there's space between the feet and the legs. Exhale back. Inhale forward. This mimics the natural breath. Good to do if you have asthma or cold. And then bring the feet down to the floor. Once again, extend your legs. Extend your arms. Allow the body to lengthen. And then exhale your arms down. Bring the feet to the floor. Draw your right knee into your chest. And then extend that up long. And just push the sole of the foot up. Try spreading your toes. See if you can do that. And see if you can wiggle the toes a little. And then make a little circle and the other way. And then draw that sole upwards and bend the knee towards the chest. So we're just using a little motion to stretch that up. Now, the buttocks should not come up off the ground too much in this position. So you can hold here if you're able. You can hold wherever along your leg that you can. And then cross that leg across over the other so that this hip and knee line up. Take your thumb, your right thumb, and just put that into the hip crease. And draw with your left hand the legs up. And just rock that in and out as we open that hip area up. And then remove that right thumb and bring your hands interlaced behind the left leg and push that up. Now make sure your head isn't doing this. So if some people may need a pillow to keep that there. Stretch that calf sole upward. And as you do that, you feel that nice calf stretch. And then bend that down, interlace in front of that left knee and draw that in a little bit. And then release the left foot down to the floor and let the right cross right over. And if you're able, bring your hand all the way out to a T. If you have shoulder problems, always modify. Don't do anything that hurts. Just, do it a little less. Make your modifications. If you can, go here, good. Now take your left hand, and that right hand's on the floor, and draw this over. Now as we do this, we're going to take the legs as far as we can to the side without coming up off the floor with the ribs and that right arm. And take a breath here. Long exhalation. Inhale up to center. And if you can, and it's within your capacity, draw these in. You can hold either behind, you can hold in front of the shins, and just pull that in for a minute. Take a breath. You feel the abdomen move against the legs. We have that awareness. And we also squeeze all the toxins out from the abdominal organs, those inner organs, and then come back and undo the legs. And then draw the left knee into the chest and extend that upwards. Point and flex a little, and then spread the toes, and then try wiggling them, and then make a little circle. I've broken my toes so many times that some just won't wiggle, so everybody's different. And then that way, draw the knee down, push it back up, stretch that hammy, cross it over, take your left thumb, put it into that left hip crease, and then bring these up and gently rock them in and out. So we hold a lot of tension in the hips, folks. You may find that as you put that thumb there, just how much you're holding. And then release the thumb and go behind that right leg and interlace and take that right sole up towards the ceiling. And just stretch, so letting that calf stretch. And then bend it down, bring the knee, hands in front of the knee there, that right knee, and just draw that in. So we're getting a nice stretch. You've got that left elbow opening that groin area up. Bring the right foot to the floor, let that other leg cross all the way over. The left hand is going to come down, palm out to a T or slight T. And the right hand is going to draw that over. As we just try to keep the body, the head moving towards the left and the torso. Now, you may find, as is often the case, one side of the body is different. On this side, I can't quite twist as far. That's okay. We're different on one side than the other. Come back up. And again, draw the legs up to the chest, and either holding here or in front. Just draw that in. Take a breath. Release that, uncross the legs, extend the arms, extend the legs, making the body long, and then exhaling down. Now bring your feet up and just walk the shoulders down a bit with the palms of the hands down. Now press down just with the small of your back for a moment as you just create that pelvic tilt, and then release that. And once again, we press down, bringing the pelvis towards the face, and then release. It just warms up the back. And then again, and release. And when we do this, we press down with the feet. We press down with the hands. We make the shoulders wide, and we come up into Setu Bandha, bridge pose. Chin drops to the chest. Take a breath. And then slowly, we come back down again. Now we're going to do that position one more time. So just bringing awareness, press down with the feet, press down with the hands, come up. And now try raising up on your toes. And then if you can, try gradually lowering the heels without moving the thighs. Oh boy, that's a stretch. Come on down, gently. Extend the arms, extend the legs. Exhale the arms down. Again now, bring your feet up to the floor. And we're going to draw the knees in. And just bring the hands behind the legs and point and flex your feet with the soles facing like towards the wall in front of you. And then make some circles again and the other way. And then draw the thighs so that the thighs come up and the feet are up towards the ceiling. And once again, we're going to point and flex. And we're going to make those rotations again, warming up, and the other way, warming up the hips. Now, as you draw that down, bring your hands to prayer in the middle between your legs, and then grasp the outside of your feet. And try to sway back and forth a little in happy baby. Now, I remember when I started this, and when you're a beginner, these poses sometimes take time, but I could never rock back and forth. It took me a while to just do this. And then to come in, and now just switch your hands over and take the front of your thighs and just rock a little. And then come back, bring your hands back out, and bring the soles of your feet together. Use your elbows to open that inner groin area, pointing that up. And now take a hold of the foot around the top, across the top, and see if you can bring those feet apart a little. Try rocking a little. Bring the soles back, and then bring the feet down. Extend the arms, extend the legs. Exhaling down. Now we'll just roll over and come up to a seated position. We're going to sit to the front here in simple seated position, Sukhanasana. Let's bring our hands up, and let's do a little bit of alternate nostril breath. So in that, we have one hand which can be up or down on that leg. We bring in the first two fingers, allowing the others to extend. Now at first, these two don't want to stay together. That comes over time. And we just bring that above the crown of the nose. You can either rest it here or you can just have it in the air. We drop the chin, but only a little, not like we would in a bandha, but just a little tiny bit. And we're going to block the nostril with the thumb side and inhale on the finger side. Smile gently. Block the finger side, open the thumb, exhale. Inhale, thumb side. Block, exhale, finger. Inhale, finger. Block, exhale, thumb. Inhale, thumb. Exhale, finger. Inhale, finger. Block, exhale, thumb. Bring the hands down. Bring the first finger and thumb together in the Gyan Mudra. So we do one Om, inhaling to begin. Om. Bring the hands to the middle of the legs. Inhale, move forward. Chest comes forward. Exhale, back. Head stays even. Inhale. Exhale, back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, back. Coming up to center. Bring the hands out to the side. Just cup the fingers and just strengthening the wrists and the hands. And then bring the arms over your head, interlace, extend up. Exhale down. Round the shoulders, inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale back. And then just shrug the shoulders gently up and down. And then bring them, inhale, right up to the ears. Exhale, ha, ha. Good. And now let's come along with the feet. Let's extend the feet long. I'm going to come this way because it's just more comfortable on the mat. Now as we come into Dandasana, or staff pose, we move down with the thighs and the calves. We keep the feet alert but relaxed. We bring the fingertips to the side as we lift up. And as you come into this, actually lift the buttocks off the floor a little. And then as you let down, try to keep that nice extension. And then move the hands forward and lift the chest. So the idea is to keep the back straight and the chest lifted. And as we create that resistance in the arms and legs, it aligns, it brings that torso into alignment. Take a breath. And then walk the hands back up. Take your left leg right over your right like that. And then take your right hand, and as you lift the spine, move the right hand towards the left thigh, outside left thigh. And just let that back shoulder relax as you take a breath. Feet stay up. Come back to center. Again, anytime we do the twist, we twist out toxins. Right over the left, and also old stale emotions. Take the left hand, extend the spine, bring it to the outside of the right thigh. Twist. Good. And then coming back to center. Tap the legs. Bring them wide and bring the big toes together. And then just windshield wiper back and forth. And then just come up to your position of table. So we bring in table, bringing the hands over the wrist. We're going to inhale the head up. Exhale and fold. Shoulders over the wrist is what I meant. Inhale up. Exhale. So in cat and cow, we just kind of work that spine. And then come back to a flat back and just move the hips back and forth. And then come back and just circle those hips a little. Gently. We always try to move slow in yoga because if you don't, the mind runs away. It goes somewhere else. And then coming back. Let's try a little flowing cat-cow. We start here. We inhale. We exhale. We round up and come back. We drop the elbows down, come through. Exhale back. Inhaling. Exhaling. So just closing the eyes for a moment and just going inward. And then we'll just come up. And let's now come and just take the blanket off. We're going to start down on our knees there today, but we're going to just move the blanket off. We're going to come to this place again, and we're going to move the hands forward of the shoulders for down dog. Now, we know that we have this rotation of the upper arms, and there's an inward rotation of the lower arms. And sometimes we need to move the index fingers out more if you have to in order to open up the shoulder area. For me, that's the case. So again, we look at our bodies. Now here we tuck the toes, and we're going to come up into down dog. Now try raising one foot up and stretching that over, and you get a nice calf stretch here again. And then come up and lower your heels to where it's good for you. I have to stay up on my toes a little more. So you look at your body and you look at the shape. And then we're going to lift that left foot up behind us with the sole pointing upwards. And then we're going to draw it into the chest and bring it over as we settle down into pigeon. Now in pigeon, and this, if your body could do this, good. If it can't, then you don't. You just rest in child's pose. We make sure that back foot is flat down. We try to keep the back long so that we don't settle into that lower back. And we lift up. Take a breath. Now if you can reach back and lift that leg up too and just give that a little extra stretch. And then releasing that down. Try folding down over it. You'll rarely get a hip stretch any better than this. So take a few breaths here. Breathe into that hip area. I think many people are very surprised at how tight their hips when they try to get into a position like this. We get some real athletes that come in and they're just so tight because they don't get that stretching. Let's come back out. Let's come back up into down dog. Make sure you lift the back of the buttocks and those upper thighs there right up towards the back wall, the back ceiling. Let the head drop. And then lift that right foot so that the sole's up and then draw it in and over. Coming down into pigeon, lifting the chest, taking a breath. And again, if you like, you can draw that back leg up. The side tighter for me. It's a good stretch, really good stretch on the top of the front of the thigh and the calves. And then coming down over that, take a few breaths here in pigeon. Releasing that hip area and then coming up. Come back in. We're going to come back up into down dog. We're going to lift that right leg up and then we're going to draw it in and come right through into a lunge. Anjanasana. Taking a breath. And then just drawing the arms back. So just coming into jet airplane, keeping the knee over the ankle. Keeping a nice resistance in that back foot. And taking a breath here. And then just drop that back knee and keep the back toe tucked and come up like this and then lift up on your toe and bring your hands together, index fingers up. Take a breath. and then come down. Bring that foot back, come back up into down dog. Lift the left leg way up, bring it through into that lunge position, Anjanasana. Runner's lunge. And then come up into jet airplane. Keep your vision in front of your mat on the floor. And then come back down. Keep that back toe tucked and lift the front up. Fingers come up. And take a breath. And then come down. Bring that leg back. Toes together, knees apart. Take a block. Rest your head. Now, as we rest in child's pose, just take a moment to notice the sensation of the body. Now, in child's pose, we want the legs apart just enough for the chest to fit through. So you don't have to be super duper wide there. Just has to be enough for you to fit there. And we bring the attention to the heartbeat. We allow our thoughts to just drop into the block. And then just coming up. So let's come up to standing. We come to Tadasana. That's the foundational pose for all our standing poses. We bring the feet even and parallel. We train the feet. A lot of times students come in like this. Eventually, over time, you notice. When I'm in the market or anything, I see someone standing there like this. I have to wonder over time how good that is for the body. Inhale, exhale, fold. Into Uttanasana. We're looking back between the legs. And then inhale, coming up. Exhaling. Now, if you go from a forward fold to a back bend, which I'm not doing today. Why? Because if you remember my last show about migraines, you don't want to do a lot of those open back bends. And I had a little aura earlier this morning, so I'm staying away from the back bends. However, if you go back and forth, you're massaging the heart, which is great too. Bring your arms out, point them away. And then if your shoulders will allow it, try rotating the arms back and forth. And then push the palms away, strengthening the wrist. Drop the fingers down. Push them away, and then drop them down. A lot of the problems we have with the wrist are a result of not doing this. And then dropping this down. We're always in a half extended place. Now bring the arms up, interlace, extend up. Exhale, bring them back down by your side. Open and close the fist. And then bring the hands down. Let's step wide. We step wide here, as wide as we're able. We bring the feet even and parallel. We turn one foot in and the other one out. We extend the arms. Now we're just going to practice Trikonasana here for a moment. So with Trikonasana, we want to reach forward as we cut back with that hip. So we want to create nice extension along there. And then we come down into Trikonasana, stacking one arm over the other and moving the ribs upwards towards the ceiling. Come back up, turn the feet, going the other way. Extend the arms, cut that hip back, reach forward, and then coming down. Triangle, Trikonasana. We open the hips, open the chest, stretch the legs, come back up. Now we're going to try Ardha Chandrasana, which is a half moon pose. And we can do this freestanding, and we can also do it against the wall. So I'm just going to demonstrate against the wall. So if you're starting out with this pose, you can just place the block near the wall. And we begin in Trikonasana. So we're going to have the foot about a distance of the foot in front of the block and about 10 to 12 inches back from it, depending on your height and all that. And then we're going to come into that position. And then we're going to reach forward, but the knee has to bend here. And then we come up against the wall. And you keep the head level and even. And then coming down. So we'll just do the other side. Let me show you the other side on the mat. So you can either do it against the wall like that. You can do this. The position is the same. We come into Trikonasana. We reach because we want that extension through the waist. So it's not a warrior move. It's a stretch here. And then we move on to the block and up and breathing. And then coming down. Inhale, come up on the toes, hands overhead. Exhale down. Inhale, roll the shoulders. Exhale back. Okay, let me show you something now with the ball. So we got a tennis ball here. If you have one, we can open up the feet a little. So we know we keep the feet in the shoes all winter, so it's really good to exercise them. This is a good way just by, moving that ball back and forth. Over the toes, over the arch, over the heels. Of course, in yoga, we always have that idea of having the wide foot, so we're always trying to expand the feet so that they make a nice foundation on the floor. So just doing that. And I want to show you a few other things with the feet. So we're going to come down. We're going to put the blanket back down so we're prepared for Shavasana and our meditation after. But let me just show you a few things with the feet. So let's come down. Now, let's just take one foot. So you can leave this leg long or you can have it bent under, whatever you like to do. And we're just going to begin by just taking the two thumbs to the heel and just rubbing the heel and then moving that right up the foot. We rub that. And then we take each toe and just rotate it in the socket. So just spending a moment to rotate this in the socket. So we always try to, take care of all parts of the body. And in the wintertime with the feet inside the shoes, it creates a lot of problems. So we just do each rotation. And then just trying to sort of move it like a crank here. Around and around. Other way. And then taking each finger between each toe. And just making that go down in between and just expanding the feet back and forth. This is hard for a lot of people. So just something. But it's good to spread the toes apart because as you get older, they tend to all group together. So let's take a look at that other foot. Begin by just massaging little circles on the heel. Moving up through the arches there. And then to the balls of the feet. And then again, we just start and rotate each toe. Moving, a little movement in the feet. We pay no attention to the feet. We just bang around on them all the time, giving them no loving care. So here we give them a little bit. And just rotating each of those little piggies. And then taking it up and moving it like a crank the other way. And then bring it down again. We separate, putting each one between each finger. And we just move them back and forth a little. It feels good, actually. When I did the whole show on the feet, really, really feels good at the end. Sometimes I'll teach several classes in a week, and my feet will feel great. Okay, and then releasing. So let's come here for a moment. We're going to bring our attention now to our breath again. We're going to do the Buddhi Mudra, bringing the pinky finger and touching that lightly to the thumb. We extend the other fingers, not rigid, just allowing them to extend. And this is the mudra of mental clarity. It's also the pinky is the element, has the element of water, and the thumb of nature. So this balances the water within our body. It can help with skin, like moistening the skin, or dry eyes, stuff like that. So let's just do two Om Shanti, 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 which just means peace to me and you and everybody. Inhaling to begin. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Releasing the hands, we'll come to Shavasana, bringing the bolster under the legs and the pillow under the head. And as we rest here, we just notice the rise and fall of the breath. We allow our concerns to just stay away for a few moments as we relax the body. We soften the feet and relax the thighs. They're heavy on the bolster. We rest the back of the body, the back of the legs, the lower back. We rest the upper back against the floor. The arms are heavy at the side. We relax the fingers. For a moment, we just scrunch all the facial muscles and then just relaxing them, allowing the mind to rest. And while you rest, I'll read to you. Within the body you are wearing, now inside the bones and beating in the heart, lives the one you have been searching for so long. But you must stop running away and shake hands. The meeting doesn't happen without your presence, your participation. The same one waiting for you there is moving in the trees, glistening on the water, growing in the grasses, and lurking in the shadows you create. You have nowhere to go. The marriage happened long ago. Behold your mate. And now gently begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then just roll to your side and just rest there quietly for a moment with the feeling of life and energy and noticing the breath. And then just keeping your sense of tranquility. Come now to a simple seated position. Bring the hands to heart center. Bow the busy, thinking, intelligent mind to the more intuitive wisdom of the heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you.